What the speech is remarkable of is actually the absence of any specific goals and the absence of a description of what is to come, because he didn't declare mobilization as was expected. Of course, he couldn't declare victory because the Russian army is not near winning, even though they are inflicting multiple casualties and then lots of damage to the Ukrainians over here. But he cannot declare victory, and he didn't declare mobilization.
Now joining me, Inna Sovsun, a member of Ukraine's parliament and deputy head of the Voice Party. Inna, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
When you hear the Russian president speaking in that way at the May the 9th parade, talking of Ukraine as the motherland, paying tribute to Russian soldiers who fell in defense of cities including Kherson, how do you feel? What are your thoughts when you hear that?
Well, I think he's a despicable person for multiple reasons. First of all, he pretends like it was the Russians who actually were winning in the World War II. He's forgotten that actually the majority of the battles of the World War II on the territory of the Soviet Union were actually taking place in Ukraine, with Ukrainian soldiers fighting against the Nazi soldiers on Ukrainian territory. Ukrainian civilians actually suffered way more than Russians. But now what he's doing, he's basically privatizing this victory for the Russian people, completely forgetting the number of Ukrainians who have been fighting in that war, the number of Belarusians and other people from the Soviet army that have been fighting against the Nazis.
Yeah,
Second of all, he's of course pretending that right now it's the similar war where apparently Ukrainians are the Nazis and the Russians are trying to liberate whoever from those Nazis, which again is despicable. And then you are seeing multiple people going to protest in the streets of the occupied cities in Ukraine against Russians, who are the true Nazis of our days. And unfortunately, he is not seeing that, or he's pretending to not be seeing that. So it's just, it's very sad and despicable address that he made this day today.
And I can well imagine the anger that you express yourself with there is going to be shared by very, very many Ukrainians in your country at hearing and seeing Vladimir Putin claim your country as the motherland and paying tribute to soldiers who fell on Ukraine territory in World War II. We did not hear, did we, the Russian president today use that May the 9th speech. Some thought he might, but he didn't declare all-out war, which would have involved mass mobilization of Russians, and nor did he use it to declare victory and to use that as a reason or an excuse to retrench. What do you make of that, Inna? Do you take that as a sign that Russia is accepting they failed in their initial plan for this invasion?
I think you're absolutely right in this description of this speech, because there were many ways the speech could have gone. But what the speech is remarkable of is actually the absence of any specific goals and the absence of a description of what is to come, because he didn't declare mobilization as was expected. Of course, he couldn't declare victory because the Russian army is not near winning, even though they are inflicting multiple casualties and then lots of damage to the Ukrainians over here. But he cannot declare victory, and he didn't declare mobilization. So the speech in itself actually was rather empty in the sense that it doesn't describe the reality that is to come. And I think that shows that right now Russia is at the crossroads, and Putin himself doesn't really know how to proceed from this point on, because he cannot continue this war for no matter how long. Yeah. He cannot stop it. And I think he's just like right now, this speech, it just showed that he doesn't know how to proceed any further.
Yes, we have heard, have we not, enough from your leader, from the president of Ukraine, of Volodymyr Zelensky, who said that your country was still open to talks with Russia. In fact, that they've been continuing all along, behind the scenes, maybe remotely, but there has been contact. What do you say to the idea that if there is to be some sort of peace, it might well involve Ukraine agreeing to Russia continuing to have control of some parts of Ukraine territory? Maybe not Crimea, because Russia holds that territory very firmly and there's no reasonable expectation that they would ever give it up. But maybe in the Donbass, areas that Russia controls strongly now. Can you imagine those areas being part of a deal when and if there is a deal?
Well, you have to remember that those territories that Russia has been controlling for 8 years have basically become massive prisons. The Russians over there are torturing people. People are not allowed to leave. They're basically living in a huge prison, in a huge camp with the military control over their lives. I don't think it is acceptable to wish for such future for any territory, in any place, in any country. What the Russians are doing, they're basically destroying the lives of the people who are living under those occupied territories. And of course, allowing for Russians to continue be doing that, to continue to torture people, to neglect basic human rights, is unacceptable. And Ukraine, I'm sorry, is not going to accept that. And I'm sorry if that is, not a nice prospect, because that means basically we shall have to fight and continue to fight. But we are fighting for our people and for basic, for restoring the basic human rights in those territories, which Russians completely neglect. So no, I don't think there is a way where we give up on the territories in Donbass and in Crimea, for that matter, just to stop this war, because there are our people there and we have to be fighting for them as well.
Inna, thank you so much for talking to us.